My 11-year-old daughter stood outside my sister's wedding venue for 16 hours. She arrived at 5:30 in the evening. She knocked on the door. My sister answered. My sister looked at her and said she could not come inside. She said the rehearsal dinner was for the wedding party only. She said someone would come get her. My sister closed the door. Stella stood outside. Alone. In November. In 40-degree weather. She did not have a coat. She waited all night. Then all morning. Security found her at 9:45 the next morning. Shivering. Pale. Early stages of hypothermia. I did not shout when I found out. I did not cry. I took action. I filed credit card disputes for every wedding expense I had paid. $12,000. Catering. Flowers. Venue. Photographer. Hair and makeup. All of it. Disputed. Reversed. 6 weeks later, my sister received the bills. Again. At higher prices. She had to take out a loan. She had to cancel her honeymoon. Her perfect wedding became her financial nightmare. November 8th was supposed to be a normal day. A hard day, but normal. I had a court hearing scheduled. A case I had been working on for months. A child in immediate danger. I was the primary witness. I had to testify. The hearing was set for 9 in the morning. I had no idea how long it would take. Could be 3 hours. Could be all day. There was no way to predict. Andrea Walsh, that is my name. I am a social worker. Have been for 10 years. I spend my days navigating broken systems. Fighting for children who have no one else. Documenting abuse. Reporting neglect. Trying to stop harm before it becomes irreversible. I see the worst of humanity regularly. I document it. I report it. I advocate. I never thought I would have to advocate for my own daughter against my own family. But that is what happened. My sister Vanessa was getting married. November 9th. A Saturday. A winery in the countryside. 3 hours from where I lived. Romantic. Expensive. Vanessa had been planning for a year and a half. Every detail perfect. Every element curated. The invitations. The flowers. The menu. The music. Everything. I was the maid of honor. Stella was invited as a guest. We had received a formal invitation. Calligraphy. Thick paper. It said Andrea Walsh and guest. Stella was the guest. Vanessa had confirmed it. Multiple times. She said Stella could come. She said it would be fine. I had believed her. The rehearsal dinner was Friday night. November 8th. The same day as my court hearing. I had explained the situation to Vanessa weeks in advance. I said I might be late. I said the hearing was unpredictable. I said I would do everything possible to make it. But if the hearing ran long, I might miss the rehearsal dinner. I asked if that was okay. Vanessa said of course. She said she understood. She said as long as I made it to the wedding the next day, that was what mattered. I had arranged for my friend Hannah to drive Stella to the venue. Hannah was also attending the wedding. She lived near me. She was driving up Friday afternoon. She said she would be happy to take Stella with her. They would get there around 5:30. In time for the rehearsal dinner. Stella could hang out with the family. She could see the venue. She could be part of the excitement. Then the next day, we would all be together for the wedding. It seemed perfect. Simple. Manageable. I had also paid for a significant portion of the wedding. Vanessa and her fiancé Marcus were paying for most of it themselves. But money was tight. My parents were contributing $5,000. I had offered to help too. I wanted to support my sister. I wanted to be part of something good. I wanted us to be close. Back in April, Vanessa had called me. She was stressed about wedding costs. She said everything was more expensive than she had planned. She said she was worried about cutting things. She said she wanted her day to be perfect, but she did not know how to afford it. I had listened to her cry over the phone. I had wanted to help. So I offered. Vanessa had given me a list of expenses. Things she needed help with. Things that would make the biggest difference. I went through them one by one. Methodically. Like I approached everything in my work. Problem. Solution. Action. I paid for the catering in May. $4,000. A deposit of $2,000 up front. The remaining $2,000 due 2 weeks before the wedding. I had put both charges on my credit card. Vanessa had been so grateful. She said it was the biggest expense. She said I was saving her wedding. I paid for the flowers in June. $2,500. Bouquets for the bridal party. Centerpieces for 15 tables. Ceremony arrangements. Vanessa had sent me photos of what she wanted. Ivory roses. Burgundy dahlias. Eucalyptus. Everything elegant and expensive. I had approved the order. I had paid in full. I paid for the venue rental in July. $3,000. The winery charged for exclusive use of their event space. Tables. Chairs. Linens. Glassware. Setup. Cleanup. All included. It was one of the most beautiful venues in the area. Vanessa had dreamed of getting married there since she was young. I made that dream possible. I paid for the photographer in August. $2,000. 8 hours of coverage. An experienced professional Vanessa had found through a wedding blog. He had shot magazine features. Celebrity weddings. His portfolio was stunning. Vanessa said she wanted photos she could be proud of. Photos that would look perfect. I paid the deposit. $1,000 up front. $1,000 due the week of the wedding. I paid both. I paid for hair and makeup in September. $500. For the bridal party. 5 women total. Vanessa. 3 bridesmaids. Me as maid of honor. A stylist would come to the venue the morning of the wedding. She would do everyone's hair and makeup. Professional. Perfect. Camera ready. I paid the full amount in advance. $12,000 total over 6 months. Every single charge documented on my credit card statements. Every single receipt saved. Every single email confirmation filed. I was a social worker. I documented everything. It was habit. It was instinct. It was how I protected myself and the people I served. I had given Vanessa everything I had saved. Everything. But I wanted to help. I wanted to be a good sister. I wanted us to finally be close. So I paid. The court hearing on November 8th started at 9. It was brutal. Contentious. The opposing side was aggressive. The child's safety was at stake. I had to stay focused. I had to fight. The hearing lasted all day. We finally finished at 6 in the evening. I was exhausted. Emotionally drained. Physically tired. But relieved. The judge had ruled in favor of protecting the child. The outcome was good. The child was safe. I called Vanessa immediately. I said I was done. I said I was getting in my car right now. I said I would be there by 9. I knew I would miss the rehearsal dinner. It was probably almost over by now. But I would be there for the rest of the evening. And definitely for the wedding the next day. Vanessa said okay. Her voice sounded distracted. Stressed. I figured she was busy with wedding preparations. I said I would see her soon. She said okay and hung up. I asked about Stella. I said Hannah should have dropped her off hours ago. I asked if she was okay. If she was having fun. If she was eating. Vanessa said, oh yeah, she is here. She is fine. That was all. No details. No stories. Just a quick confirmation. I said great. I said I would see them soon. She said okay and ended the call. I got in my car. I drove for 3 hours. I got to the hotel at 9:15. I checked in. I texted Vanessa to let her know I had arrived. She did not respond. I figured she was still at the rehearsal dinner. Or maybe already back at her room. She was probably exhausted. Getting married the next day. I understood. I went to my room. I showered. I fell into bed. I set my alarm for 7. I needed to be at the venue by 10 for photos. Maid of honor duties. I had to be there. I had to be ready. I woke up at 7. I got ready. I put on my maid of honor dress. Burgundy. Floor length. Elegant. I did my hair and makeup. I looked at my phone. No messages. I texted Vanessa. Good morning. See you at 10. No response. I drove to the winery. I arrived at 9:45. 15 minutes early. The venue was beautiful. Rolling hills. Vineyards. Bare vines in late autumn. Fairy lights everywhere. White tents. Elegant tables. It looked like something from a magazine. I parked. I walked toward the main building. I saw people setting up. Florists arranging centerpieces. Caterers setting tables. The photographer checking equipment. Everything was coming together. Then I saw her. Stella was sitting on the ground. Outside the main entrance. She was leaning against the stone wall of the building. She was wearing the dress I had bought her. Light purple. Her favorite color. But something was wrong. Her hair was messy. Tangled. Her face was pale. Gray. Her lips had a slight blue tint. She was shivering. Visibly shaking. I ran to her. Stella, what are you doing out here? She looked up at me. Her eyes were dull. Unfocused. She tried to speak but her teeth were chattering. Mom. Baby, why are you outside? It is freezing. Where is your coat? I don't have it. Hannah forgot it. Okay, but why are you sitting outside? Why are you not inside where it is warm? She looked down. Her whole body was shaking. They would not let me in. What do you mean they would not let you in? Aunt Vanessa said I could not come inside. I stared at her. I could not process what she was saying. When did you get here? Yesterday. Hannah dropped me off at like 5:30. My blood went cold. Yesterday? You have been out here since yesterday? She nodded. Tears started running down her face. I tried to go inside. I knocked on the door. Aunt Vanessa answered. I said hi. She looked at me. Then she said, what are you doing here? I said I was here for the wedding. She said, I know. But the wedding is tomorrow. Not tonight. I said Hannah had to drop me off early because she had work. I asked if that was okay. She said no. She said I could not stay for the rehearsal dinner. She said it was just for the wedding party. I said okay. I asked where I should wait. She said outside. She said someone would come get me. She said you would come get me. But you never came. I could not breathe. You have been outside since 5:30 yesterday evening? Yes. All night? You stayed outside all night? Yes. I did not know what else to do. Aunt Vanessa said you would come. So I waited. I thought maybe you were just late. But you never came. I waited all night. I did not have my phone. Hannah has it. She said she would give it back later. So I could not call anyone. I just waited. Did anyone check on you? Some people came outside last night. After the dinner. They were leaving. They saw me. But they just walked past. One lady asked if I was okay. I said I was waiting for my mom. She said okay and left. Did you try to go inside this morning? Yes. I was so cold. I knocked on the door. A security guy opened it. I said I needed to come inside. I needed to get warm. He said the venue was closed until 10. He said I needed to wait outside until then. I said I had been waiting since yesterday. He said that was not his problem. Then he closed the door. I felt rage unlike anything I had ever felt. My sister had told my daughter to wait outside. For 16 hours. Overnight. In November. In 40-degree weather. Without a coat. She had told an 11-year-old child to sit outside in the cold all night and just wait. I stood up. I went to my car. I got my coat. I came back. I wrapped it around Stella. She was shaking so hard she could barely hold it. Her hands were ice cold. Her fingers were white at the tips. Early frostbite. Her lips were blue. Hypothermia. Mild. But present. Come on. We are going to the hospital. But the wedding. There is no wedding. Not for us. But you are the maid of honor. I do not care. I picked her up. She was 11. Too big to carry normally. But she could barely walk. Her legs were stiff. Her muscles were not working right. I carried her to my car. I turned on the heat. Full blast. I put her in the passenger seat. I buckled her seatbelt. I got in the driver's side. Then I looked back at the venue. Through the window, I could see people inside. Bridesmaids getting their hair done. Vanessa standing in the corner talking to someone. Laughing. Smiling. Getting ready for her perfect day. She had seen my daughter outside. She had to have seen her. The main entrance. Right by the door. Stella had been sitting there all morning. Vanessa had probably walked past her multiple times. And she had done nothing. I drove to the nearest hospital. 20 minutes away. I carried Stella inside. She was still shivering. Still pale. I went straight to the emergency desk. I said my daughter had been outside in 40-degree weather for 16 hours. I said she had hypothermia. I said I needed help immediately. They took her right away. A nurse led us to a room. She helped Stella onto a bed. She started wrapping her in warm blankets. Heated blankets from a warmer. Layer after layer. Stella's teeth were still chattering. She could not stop shaking. A doctor came in. Young. Maybe 30. He introduced himself as Dr. Patel. He started examining Stella. He checked her temperature. 94.2 degrees. Normal was 98.6. She was 4 degrees below normal. Mild hypothermia. But hypothermia nonetheless. He checked her fingers. The tips were white. No color. Poor circulation. He pressed on them gently. Stella winced. He said it was early-stage frostbite. Surface level. The tissue was not damaged yet. But another few hours and it could have been. He checked her toes. Same thing. White tips. Poor circulation. Early frostbite. He listened to her heart. Her pulse was slow. 52 beats per minute. Normal for a child her age was 70 to 100. Her body was trying to conserve energy. Trying to stay warm. Shutting down non-essential functions. He checked her blood pressure. Low. Her body was in mild shock. Responding to prolonged cold exposure. He asked her questions. How long had she been outside? 16 hours. What was the temperature? About 40 degrees. Did she have a coat? No. Did she have food or water? No. Did anyone check on her? No. He wrote everything down. Then he looked at me. She is going to be okay. The hypothermia is mild. The frostbite is very early stage. We will warm her slowly. Monitor her vitals. She should recover fully. But Ms. Walsh, this could have been much worse. If she had been out there much longer, we would be looking at serious tissue damage. Possibly amputation of fingers or toes. Possibly severe hypothermia with organ damage. She is very lucky. She is not lucky. She should not have been outside at all. I agree. Can you tell me what happened? I explained. My sister's wedding. The rehearsal dinner. Stella being turned away. Being told to wait outside. Overnight. In November. For 16 hours. Dr. Patel's expression changed. From concerned to horrified. An 11-year-old child was told to wait outside overnight? At a wedding venue? Yes. By family members? By my sister. The bride. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, I am required to file a report. This is child endangerment. A minor was left in conditions that posed serious risk to her health and safety. I have to report it to Child Protective Services. And likely to law enforcement as well. I understand. I am a social worker. I know the protocols. Please file whatever reports you need to file. He nodded. He excused himself. He left to start the paperwork. A nurse stayed with Stella. She kept adding warm blankets. She brought warm water for Stella to drink. Small sips. Slowly. She monitored her temperature. Every 15 minutes she checked. 94.2. 94.5. 94.8. Slowly rising. After an hour, Stella's temperature was 96 degrees. Still below normal but improving. Her fingers were starting to regain color. Pink returning to the tips. Her toes too. The circulation was coming back. After 2 hours, her temperature was 97.1. Her shivering had stopped. She was talking normally. No more chattering teeth. Her pulse was up to 65. Her blood pressure was stabilizing. She was warming up. She was going to be okay. Dr. Patel came back. He said we could go home. He said to keep her warm. Keep her hydrated. Monitor her fingers and toes for any changes in color or sensation. If anything got worse, come back immediately. He said she would probably be tired for a few days. Her body had been through trauma. She needed rest. He handed me discharge papers. And a copy of the Child Protective Services report he had filed. And a copy of the police report. He said I might need them. He said I should keep them. Documentation. Evidence. Proof of what happened. I thanked him. I took the papers. I carried Stella back to the car. Stella slept the whole way. I cried. Quietly. So she would not hear. When we got home, I put Stella to bed. Then I sat at my kitchen table. I pulled out my laptop. I opened my credit card statements. I had paid for Vanessa's wedding. $12,000 in charges over 6 months. All on my credit card. All documented. All provable. I called my credit card company. I told them I wanted to dispute charges. All of them. I said the services had not been rendered as agreed. I said there had been a breach of contract. I said my daughter had been subjected to child endangerment at the event I had paid for. I said I wanted my money back. They said they would investigate. They said it would take a few weeks. They said they would contact the vendors. I said that was fine. Do whatever you need to do. Then I sent an email to Vanessa. Subject line. What you did. Body. Today, you turned my 11-year-old daughter away at your wedding venue. You told her she could not come inside. You told her to wait outside. She waited for 16 hours. Overnight. In 40-degree weather. Without a coat. She developed hypothermia. She was hospitalized. Child Protective Services have been notified. I paid $12,000 for your wedding. I have filed credit card disputes for all of it. Every vendor will be contacted. Every charge will be reversed. I never want to hear from you again. Andrea. I sent the email. Then I blocked her number. Blocked her email. Blocked her on every social media platform. Gone. 30 minutes later, my mother called. I answered. Andrea, what did you do? I protected my daughter. Vanessa is hysterical. Her wedding is in 2 hours. She just found out you disputed the charges. The vendors are calling her. They are saying payments have been reversed. They are threatening to cancel services. Good. They should cancel. You cannot do this. You cannot ruin your sister's wedding day. I did not ruin anything. Vanessa ruined it when she left my daughter outside overnight. Stella is fine. She was outside for a few hours. She is being dramatic. She was outside for 16 hours. She has hypothermia. She was hospitalized. That is not dramatic. That is reality. Stella probably exaggerated. She probably wanted attention. She does not exaggerate medical conditions for attention. She is 11 years old. Andrea, you need to call the credit card company. You need to reverse the disputes. Vanessa's wedding is today. The vendors need to be paid. Vanessa should have thought about that before she told my child to wait outside in the cold overnight. That is not what happened. Vanessa was busy. She forgot Stella was out there. It was an accident. It was not an accident. She told Stella to wait outside. She saw her sitting there. She did nothing. For 16 hours. Because she was busy with her wedding. She did not have time to deal with Stella. Then she should not have invited her. She should not have told her she could come. She should not have let Hannah drive her 3 hours to a wedding where she was going to be turned away. You are being selfish. You are making this about you and Stella when it should be about Vanessa. It is her wedding day. And Stella almost died from hypothermia. Which one matters more? My mother was quiet. Then she said, if you do not reverse those charges, you are not welcome in this family anymore. Good. We do not want to be in this family anymore. I hung up. I blocked her number. I blocked my father's number. I blocked everyone. Over the next 3 days, I got messages from relatives, cousins, aunts, uncles, all of them saying the same thing. I was selfish. I was cruel. I was ruining Vanessa's life. I was destroying the family. My cousin Rebecca called. She said I was being unreasonable. She said Vanessa had made a mistake. She said people make mistakes. She said I should forgive her. I asked if she would forgive someone who left her child outside overnight in the cold. She said that was different. I asked how. She could not answer. I hung up. My Aunt Sharon texted. A long paragraph about family loyalty. About forgiveness. About how weddings are stressful and people do things they do not mean. I responded with one sentence. She told my daughter to wait outside in 40-degree weather for 16 hours. Sharon did not respond. I blocked her number. My Uncle David left a voicemail. He said I was tearing the family apart. He said Vanessa was devastated. He said her wedding was ruined. He said I had embarrassed everyone. He said I needed to apologize. I deleted the voicemail without responding. I blocked his number. My cousin Jason sent an email. He said he understood I was upset. But he said the credit card disputes were too far. He said I was using financial leverage to punish my sister. He said that was manipulative and wrong. I replied with copies of the hospital discharge papers. The diagnosis: mild hypothermia, early stage frostbite. The CPS report. The police report. I said this was not manipulation. This was consequence. He did not reply. I blocked his email. Vanessa's maid of honor called. A woman named Brittany I had met twice. She said Vanessa was crying constantly. She said the wedding had been so stressful. She said everything had gone wrong. She said I had ruined what should have been the happiest day of Vanessa's life. I asked if she knew what happened to Stella. She said yes, Vanessa had told her. She said it was unfortunate, but it was not intentional. I asked how leaving a child outside overnight could be unintentional. She said Vanessa forgot. I said forgetting for 16 hours while you are 50 feet away is not forgetting. That is choosing. She hung up on me. I did not call back. Marcus, Vanessa's new husband, sent a text from a number I did not have saved. Andrea, please. We are drowning in debt because of this. We had to borrow money from everyone we know. We cannot afford to pay it back. Please just call off the disputes. We will pay you back over time. I promise. Please. I responded. You stood by and watched my daughter sit outside in the cold. You knew she was there. You did nothing. You are as responsible as Vanessa. The disputes stand. He did not respond. I blocked the number. I blocked every single one. The credit card disputes took 6 weeks to process. The company investigated. They contacted the vendors. They asked for documentation of services rendered. The vendors provided photos, receipts, proof that the wedding had taken place. But the credit card company sided with me. Because I had documentation too. Hospital records showing Stella's hypothermia. A Child Protective Services report. A police incident report that the hospital had filed. A timeline showing that my daughter had been left outside the venue for 16 hours while the wedding preparations happened inside. The vendors were informed that I had filed disputes based on breach of contract and child endangerment at the event. The vendors said they had not been informed that a minor would be left outside overnight as a condition of my payment. They said if they had known, they would not have accepted the job under those circumstances. All $12,000 was refunded to my account. Vanessa's wedding went forward. But she had to pay for everything again. Out of pocket. Immediately. The day of. The vendors demanded payment before they would provide services. Catering. Flowers. Venue. Photographer. Hair and makeup. Vanessa and Marcus had to scramble. They had to call family members. They had to ask for loans. They managed to pull together enough cash to pay for the immediate services. But it was rushed. It was stressful. It was expensive. Last-minute pricing was higher than the original contracts. I heard from a mutual friend that Vanessa cried through most of the reception. that the wedding was tense, that everyone knew what had happened, that people were taking sides, that the family was fractured. I did not care. I also heard that Vanessa and Marcus had to take out a personal loan to cover the wedding costs, that they had to cancel their honeymoon to pay it back, that they were struggling financially, that their marriage started under financial strain. I did not care. Stella is 12 now. She is in 6th grade. She is seeing a therapist, Dr. Chen, a child psychologist who specializes in trauma. Stella sees her once a week. They talk about what happened. They talk about how it felt. They talk about how to move forward. She has nightmares sometimes. About being cold. About being left behind. About waiting for someone who never comes. About knocking on doors that do not open. She wakes up crying. I hold her. I remind her she is safe. I remind her she is home. I remind her that will never happen again. But the nightmares are getting less frequent. In the beginning, they happened every night. Now maybe once a week. Sometimes less. She is healing. Slowly. But healing. Dr. Chen says Stella is resilient. She says Stella has strong coping skills. She says having a parent who immediately protected her and took action made a significant difference. She says many children in similar situations do not have that. She says I did the right thing. Stella is also getting stronger emotionally. She is learning that I will always protect her. She is learning that her safety matters more than anyone's perfect day. She is learning that people who hurt her will face consequences. She is learning that she deserves better. She has started saying no to things. Setting boundaries. Standing up for herself. Her teacher called me last month. She said Stella had told another student to stop making fun of her. Firmly. Clearly. The student had backed off. The teacher said she was proud of Stella. She said it takes courage to stand up like that. She said Stella was growing into a strong young woman. I was proud too. I am proud. Last week, we were making dinner together. Spaghetti. Stella's favorite. She was chopping vegetables for the salad. Carrots. Cucumbers. Tomatoes. I was stirring the sauce. Garlic. Basil. Oregano. The kitchen smelled warm. Comforting. Safe. She said, Mom, do you ever regret it? Regret what? Ruining Aunt Vanessa's wedding. Taking back the money. Cutting everyone off. I stopped stirring. I looked at her. No. Not even for a second. Do you? She thought about it. She kept chopping. Carefully. Methodically. Then she said, No. I am glad you did it. I am glad you chose me over them. I will always choose you. I know. She smiled. A real smile. The kind that reaches her eyes. That is why I am not scared anymore. I know you will always protect me. No matter what. Always. Good. She put down the knife. She came over and hugged me. Quick. Tight. Then she went back to chopping. And she did know. That was what mattered most. She knew now that she was not disposable. She knew she was not someone who could be left outside and forgotten. She knew that if anyone hurt her, there would be consequences. She knew I would fight for her. Every single time. That knowledge was worth more than any family relationship. Worth more than any wedding. Worth more than $12,000. Worth everything. I think about that day sometimes. Pulling up to that winery. Seeing Stella sitting on the ground outside. Pale. Shivering. Alone. I think about the hours she waited. The cold she endured. The abandonment she felt. And I think about Vanessa's face when I walked into that venue. Before she saw Stella outside. She was laughing. She was happy. She was preparing for her perfect day. And my daughter was freezing outside her door. Some people said I overreacted. Some said I should have waited until after the wedding to address it. Some said I ruined the most important day of Vanessa's life. Some said family should forgive. But family should not leave 11-year-olds outside overnight. Family should not prioritize a wedding over a child's safety. Family should not dismiss hypothermia as drama. Vanessa thought her wedding day was untouchable. She thought nothing could interfere. She thought she could do whatever she wanted and I would smile and go along with it because it was her special day. She was wrong. Stella and I do not talk to my family anymore. We do not go to events. We do not take calls. We do not respond to messages. We are done. And we are better for it. Because Stella knows now that she is not disposable. She knows she is worth fighting for. She knows I will burn every bridge, ruin every event, and destroy every relationship to keep her safe. That is what family really means. So, what do you think? Did I go too far, or just far enough? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more stories about mothers who chose their children over toxic families, do not forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I've got 2 more stories queued up for you, both about the moment we realized protecting our kids means walking away from the people who were supposed to love them. Click on whichever one calls to you. Until next time, remember, family is about who shows up, not who shows up in your DNA.